Hello everybody, this is Dartt, and today there's a Legion Developers Livestream Q&A featuring World Quests and Demonic Invasions with Josh Lore Allen, the community manager, and senior game designer Jeremy Feasel, who has worked as a content supervisor for the pre-launch event, the Broken Shore, Demonic Invasions, and the World Quest system. Lots of questions and lots of information, so let's jump right into this, taking these questions as they were posed and the responses as were given. First up, are you planning to regularly update world quests and their rewards as we dive into future patches? The response was yes. When the world quest system was designed, they wanted a system that would allow a little bit of ease of adding in new quests. There were problems with that, but they've been solved. There was sort of a metaphor of world quests operating in buckets, so that groups of world quests would be mutually exclusive with others, so there wouldn't be a zillion quests up at any one given time. And the fact that they were able to pull this off leads to an increased probability for new content, and they're very much looking forward to adding new world quests. Next question, are you planning on adding world quests to old zones over time or in a future expansion to give players a reason to go back to them? And the answer was that this was a first iteration of the system and they want to see what works and what does not. They're very excited to present event-based world quests, and Demonic Invasions will be the first iteration of this. There's kind of a little bit of a spoiler that there will be at least one world quest for the older zones, and that will be a revamped fishing tournament. And I don't know if that's kind of maybe a hint towards the legendary fishing rod, maybe, I don't know. It's kind of suspicious, but something that could be looked into, you might want to look into in the future. Will world quests be a viable alternative to dungeoning and raiding for gear and other items? The statement was yes, but. And the most difficult content will have the best possible loot rewards, be that dungeons, raids, PvP, etc. Next question. Do you have any plans to add an option to filter through available world quests based on certain criteria? Time left, type of reward, faction, etc. Yes, and there are actually a few already in the game, such as being able to filter out primary and secondary professions as well as pet battles. Again, they want to see what players want, and they made the statement that there are mods and add-ons that will allow filtering, and they want to see what elements of these add-ons players wish included into the base game. How do you plan on incentivizing world quests once people have the gear they want and don't need order hall resources anymore? They touched on order halls a little bit, and they said that the order hall system will make you more effective in the game world. You'll get bodyguards, call down powers, and a multiplier on artifact experience, artifact knowledge. And it may get to the point where you can opt out knowing there are more important things for you to do. And that also the goal was to provide so much quest content that you literally could not complete everything. And that's simply to force players to choose what they want to do. Moving on, between too many dailies in Mists of Pandaria and not enough world content in Warlords of Draenor, what kind of approach did you take to solve both problems for Legion and ensure both types of players are satisfied? They said that they're running with sort of a version 2.0 of Mists of Pandaria, daily system, and they wanted to improve on three fronts. The first one being moment-to-moment gameplay, where you'd have a small immediate reward and a high end reward, such as exalted status with a faction and all the perks that come with that. They made dailies more relevant on a daily basis with much better rewards. 2, not so much of a honey list of things to do every day. Rewards will be more immediate. There'll be more strategizing of what quests you want to tackle, when and how, and that they definitely wanted to add in the feeling of quest variety. They wanted an active world where there was always something to do, and there will be new dailies like every 3 hours or so. New faction quests every 6 hours. 3rd, if you missed quests, you kind of fell behind in expansions gone by, and they wanted to add in some capacitance added to daily quests, sort of like with Hearthstone. If you don't log in every day, you'll build up quests and have more content available than somebody who has cleared them every day, so you don't necessarily fall behind. Also, there'll be lots of variety with daily quests, and it can be anything from dungeons to pet battles to PvP to whatever. Could one of the bonus weekend events give bonus rewards to world quests? Yes. The Apexis weekend will be replaced with World Quest weekend. Bonus weekends, of course, will not be active for a while. They said several weeks. Of course, we know from previous developer Q&As it'll be at least 4 weeks. Will there be world quests that are PvP related? Yes. And there'll be 2 types of these. Sort of a deathmatch style PvP quest and some sort of crazy, insane world PvE thing. And world PvP will be incentivized. And they also made the statement that Murloc PvP will be a thing. So, whatever that Murloc sound is. They said that there will be sort of a PvE VP kind of thing like Winter Grasp, where Warden Towers would be up for grabs. Alliance and Horde will have control of those across the Broken Isles, and they will be tuned to be difficult to take. So, if you attack one of these, you're a target of opportunity, and that will flag you for PvP, and you're kind of at the mercy of the environment and the other side, so you kind of have to be a little bit careful. And of course, all PvP feeds into the honor system. Are pet battle world quests going to have any progression tied to them beyond the pet system? Yes. There'll be charms, level ups, vanity items that you can get. Also, there'll be artifact experience and order hall progression that you can gain this way. And this can also count towards emissary quests. And they explained emissary quests a little bit. Basically, an emissary quest is where you'll have an emissary that will come to your class order hall and ask you to do X number of quests in a particular zone. Once you complete that, you'll receive an emissary cache, which will be, they said, very rewarding, and also you will receive a huge amount of reputation with that particular faction. Are any of the world quests going to drop legendaries? Emissary quests will have the possibility to drop legendaries, but it's not currently designed to where the rest of the quests will drop legendaries. So they want feedback from the player on maybe where that would be appropriate and where it wouldn't be, that sort of thing. Sorry, throat's kind of drying out. Will factions only be a UI element for world quests, or will new story quests unlock as we progress through the reputation steps? And Jeremy said he liked that sort of quest progression, that as you complete world quests, you unlock more and more levels of world quests, and that will be a thing especially in Suramar. In terms of the kind of quests we'll see, will they be more closely related to level up quests or more event-like in nature? And there's going to be a lot of everything. There'll be mini games, rare spawns, world bosses, dungeon events, and rare dungeon spawns. Is there a lot of large-scale multi-stage world quests? Yes, and they gave the example of demon invasions, which there will be 4 stages to. And they want to do more like this, but they said there's a lot of common game design problems. They kind of threw the example out there, participation points, where you click a button over and over again to get superior rewards for inferior gameplay. They did say that they liked the idea of role-neutral multiplayer scenario quests, and we may see more of that in the future. Are there many world quests aimed at groups, Trinity-based, or otherwise, or is it predominantly solo play? They said that everything in Legion will have a 5-player tap list on spawns, so group play is definitely incentivized, and it's going to be open tap on rares and zone bosses. They definitely want friendly gameplay. They want it to where if you see somebody fighting something, there's no reason not to go ahead and help them out. How do world quests reset timers work? How often do they refresh in one play session? They again use the example of the buckets, where each bucket has a different number of quests on different timers. They said world bosses would be once a week, rare elites will refresh once every 3 days, PvP objectives every 3 hours, faction objectives will refresh every 6 hours. And they said they wanted check-in timers of maybe 3 to 6 hours, so there'll be 10 to 20 things that may refresh depending on how long you play, but you won't feel chained to one character. With world quests being relevant for our character progression, are there any plans to keep them entertaining even after weeks? They stated that there will be tons of world quests with a wide variety of things going on. There'll be some rare spawns that can have different abilities, and that if you're not careful, they will just positively destroy you. They'll be watching the forums to see how long things stay entertaining, and that if boredom starts to surface, they will introduce more. Next question. I barely ever see relics as world quest rewards. Will they spawn more frequently, or is this the correct rate? Relics are a power item that will be new in Legion that you socket into your artifact weapon in the place of weapon drops, since you're only going to have one weapon throughout the expansion. They said that the beta spawn rate was too low and that this has been increased, and they feel that it's correct now. Will my friends see different world quests than I do? How does grouping work in this case? Aside from individual quest progression, quests will be the same across your region. You also see the same loot across your region. They didn't want to create a situation where quests that could require a group didn't create incentives to drive group creation. Moving on. Will world quests be the only way to obtain some rewards like reputation, artifact power, order hall resources, etc., or will they be interchangeable? with, for example, spending your day running dungeons for the same reward. They said that the best rep gains will be emissary quests. Order hall resources, you'll want to pick and choose where you get these from for best effect. And artifact power, really? Just do whatever you want. Next question. I like how world quests get people to go out and do neat things, but can we get the old daily quests back too? They said that the faction world quests will feel that way, and they wanted things to feel like when you're doing things for a faction, you're doing what makes sense for the people in that zone. There will be what they said were talking heads that communicate quest text to you, and that there will be a progressive story, especially in Suramar. Which parts of the pre-event will be gone when Legion launches? Which parts will be available throughout Legion and maybe beyond? Jeremy said that this will start with Legion kickoff. Demon Hunters will unlock, major things will happen at the Tomb of Sargeras, very heavy lore things, some cool characters will come in, and there will be some awesome lore. And that will tell the story leading up to Legion. If you come back after 8/30/16, however, the pre-launch experience will be greatly abbreviated. You'll see Dalaran move to the Broken Isles, you'll see the beginning and finale of the pre-launch, and that's pretty much it. If you want to revisit the pre-launch, you can talk to an archivist in Dalaran and see all the cutscenes and all that. So it's not going to go away, but yeah, you'll be able to go back and look at it, but you're not going to be able to go through the content anymore. First week, Broken Shore unlocks, demon invasions will start, and will start ramping up in severity the closer we get to launch. There will be, in pre-launch and exclusive to pre-launch, a lot of exclusive rewards, such as gear, loot. There will be a battle pet and a toy. The statement was made that the patch will go out, class changes will go into effect, and then the pre-launch content will unlock, but it will not be an immediate thing. So if you're looking for Tuesday, say 1 o'clock in the afternoon, if you're like in Central Standard Time or whatever, all the class changes and all the pre-launch content are going to go into effect right then and there. That's probably not going to be what happens. Will world quests scale past the normal raid threshold? That is to say, will item levels on gear keep increasing once you're above 840? Yes. Anything you receive can scale up to Mythic Titan Forged, and they did give kind of a qualifier to that. Mythic raid drops have a higher base item level, and low-end world quest drops have a much lower base item level. But you can still pick up an item from a quest drop which will have the maximum Mythic Titan Forged level. The probability, of course, of this happening is incredibly lower than if you were, say, in a Mythic raid environment. Can you elaborate a little on how world quests dovetail with order halls? Okay, order hall tech trees, call down abilities, bodyguards, artifact knowledge levels, all these things help your world gameplay. And they made the statement again that order halls are not meant to be garrisons. They kept what they said were the fun parts of garrisons, like bodyguards and that sort of thing, but they left out the chores, like that damnable mine and herb garden. Oh my god, my OCD kills me with those things. Are there any plans to add level scaling to old zones for questing? They said they loved the idea, and Legion will be the first attempt at level unspecific zones. They want to make sure there aren't going to be any problem before they try to adapt this to the existing world. And they also said that some players, like me, I like the out-level content, so they just like the feeling of defeating it and moving on. So that being said, and this is just me personally talking here, if you want to go back to Elven Forest or Barrens 10 years later, hey, feel free. Please, don't drag me back into that mess. They also kind of threw this out there for old-time players. If we really, really want to feel old, quests that were updated for Cataclysm are now as old as they were before they were revamped. So they said that even the Cataclysm, basically this statement is that Cataclysm quest chains are now officially old, so yeah. Oh boy. Would you talk about how the world quests that have gear rewards scale with the gear you are currently wearing? As you increase your personal item level, you increase the potential item level rewards of what you gain from quests. And that's not limited to what you're wearing. It will be based on what you have available in bags, your inventory, or whatever. Next question. Is there any chance we'll be seeing world quests involving Gilneas somehow in Legion? Yes, and there will be storylines, and there'll be some very interesting interplay involving Jin Greymane and Sylvanas. Both of these two become very warlike, lots of mistrust between them, and the whole system of warden towers. Basically, the story here is that the wardens themselves don't have time for dealing with them anymore. Jin and Sylvanas' troops will take these over, and that there will be world quests to assault and take them. Will the bonus objective system be carried out into Legion as a great way to earn experience while leveling, or is that being retired? Yes, bonus objectives will be returning. Will world quests have different criteria for completion depending on the class's role? So nothing immediately. That's something that the designers are talking about and thinking about implementing. They said one class having something to do in a specific area would be fun, and they like the thought of a small army of one particular class going out and completing one objective, but not much more than that was something that they'd considered. Finishing up, they said that there will be no Q&A next week, and that there will be another Q&A soon with John LeCraft concerning Demon Hunters. And is this an indication that next week they'll be too busy finishing up Demon Hunters in preparation for a 7/26 pre-patch date? I don't know. Will Q&As persist into the pre-launch phase? Again, I don't know. Maybe. I want to know what you think. Please leave me comments below, like if you found this entertaining and informative, and please hit that subscribe button. Again, this is Dartt. Good luck and have fun.